Hi, Art Kurtz here, and this is Easy Access Math, and I have another literal equation problem to review with you. This one, a little different. We have a negative sign to be concerned with. But remember, when we're solving a literal equation, you have different letters, more than one, so you're not going to get an exact number. You're just going to move things around. So the letter you're looking to solve for is by itself. The first thing I do is I get rid of what is attached by plus or minus to the letter, and that's the 2b. Now, even though there's a minus here, the 2b is a positive 2b because its sign would be before it, and there is no sign before it, so that's like positive. So to undo that, I do minus 2b from both sides of the equal sign. Whenever we say both sides, we always do the same thing on both sides of that equal sign in an equation when you're solving. And so I have c minus 2b equals, and this is out, it canceled out, that plus 2b and minus 2b, minus 3a. Now what I have is the minus 3 attached to that a, and that's the one I'm looking to solve for. That needs to be by itself. It's attached directly, and that means multiplication. To undo multiplication, I divide. Sign and all, both sides by negative 3. That gives me the a by itself, sign and all. You must divide by negative 3. Not just the 3. That cancels out. A is by itself over here, and that's what we wanted. On the other side, there's my answer. C minus 2b over negative 3. Now, I want you to be aware of something. On a test, if you had choices, this may not be one of the choices, and here's why. You know, in math, we like to use as little signs as possible. And if I could flip things around and not use so many signs in an answer, that might be considered simpler. This is a correct answer right here, and it could be presented as the choice with 2 negative signs. Or the same thing, if I divide, it would be 2b minus c over 3. That actually says the same thing, because when I divide by a negative, remember, the signs change. So c divided by negative 3 would be negative c over 3. And two negatives, negative 2b and negative 3, equals a positive, so these two turn to be positive. These are exactly the same thing. And so your answer could be presented in either way, and you want to be aware of that. If you come up with this one, c minus 2b over minus 3, and this is a choice, it's the same thing. It's just another way of saying the same answer. So you have to be flexible in your mind to be aware of the rules of the sign numbers. These two are exactly the same thing. Now, the good news is this is rare. You're likely not to get all those negative signs where you may have to switch numbers, but it could happen, and you want to be prepared for that if it does. It could happen in a literal equation. It could also happen in other equations where answers, possibly when you're factoring or dividing, could have double negatives that become positive, and the simpler form to present it would be the bottom one. So be aware that it could be presented in 2 different ways. And that's true of many math problems. And that's how you do literal equations with a little twist.